wondering yet again what this meeting could be about. I'd spent a good part of my afternoon here in Virginia reporting to a couple of alchemist officials about the status of my current assignment. I was living in Palm Springs, pretending to be a senior at a private boarding school in order to keep an eye on Jill Dragomir, a vampire princess forced into hiding. Keeping her alive meant keeping her people out of civil war, something that would definitely tip humans off to the supernatural world that lurked beneath the surface of modern life. It was a vital mission for the alchemists, so I wasn't entirely surprised they'd want an update. What surprised me was that they couldn't have just done it over the phone. I couldn't figure out what other reason would bring me to this facility. The coffee maker finished. I'd only set it to make 3 cups, which would probably be enough to get me through the evening. I just filled my styrofoam cup when the door opened. A man entered, and I nearly dropped the coffee. "Mr. Darnell," I said, setting the pot back on the burner. My hands trembled. It's nice to see you again, sir."
"You too, Sydney,"
he said, forcing a stiff smile.
"You've certainly grown up."
"Thank you, sir," I said, unsure if that was a compliment. Tom Darnell was my father's age and had brown hair laced with silver. There were more lines in his face since the last time I'd seen him, and his blue eyes had an uneasy look that I didn't usually associate with him. Tom Darnell was a high-ranking official among the alchemists and had earned his position through decisive action and a fierce work ethic. He'd always seemed larger than life when I was younger, fiercely confident and awe-inspiring. Now he seemed to be afraid of me, which made no sense. Wasn't he angry? After all, I was the one responsible for his son being arrested and locked away by the alchemists.
"I appreciate you coming all the way out here,"
he added, once a few moments of awkward silence had passed.
"I know it's a long round trip, especially on a weekend."
"It's no problem at all, sir," I said, hoping I sounded confident. "I'm happy to help with whatever you need." I still wondered what exactly that could be. He studied me for a few seconds and gave a curt nod.
"You're very dedicated," he said, "just like your father."
I made no response. I knew that comment had been intended as a compliment, but I didn't really take it that way. Tom cleared his throat.
"Well then, let's get this out of the way. I really don't want to inconvenience you any more than is necessary."
Again, I got that nervous, deferential vibe. Why would he be so conscientious of my feelings? After what I'd done to his son, Keith, I would have expected rage or accusations. Tom opened the door for me and gestured me through. "Can I bring my coffee, sir?"
"Of course."
He took me back into the concrete corridor toward more of the closed doors. I clutched my coffee like a security blanket, far more frightened than I'd been when first entering this place. Tom came to a stop a few doors down, in front of one with a red light, but hesitated before opening it.
"I want you to know that what you did was incredibly brave," he said, not meeting my eyes. "I know you and Keith are friends, and it couldn't have been easy to turn him in. It shows just how committed you are to our work, something that's not always easy when personal feelings are involved."
Keith and I weren't friends now or then, but I supposed I could understand Tom's mistake. Keith had lived with my family for a summer, and later he and I had worked together in Palm Springs. Turning him in for his crimes hadn't been difficult for me at all. I'd actually enjoyed it. Seeing the stricken look on Tom's face, though, I knew I couldn't say anything like that. I swallowed. "Well, our work is important, sir." He gave me a sad smile.
"Yes, it certainly is."
The door had a security keypad. Tom punched in a series of about 10 digits, and the lock clicked in acceptance. He pushed the doors open, and I followed him inside. The stark room was dimly lit and had 3 other people in it, so I didn't initially notice what else the room contained. I knew immediately that the others were alchemists. There was no other reason they'd be in this place otherwise, and of course they possessed the telltale signs that would have identified them to me even on a busy street. Business attire in nondescript colors, golden lily tattoos shining on their left cheeks. It was part of the uniformity we all shared. We were a secret army, lurking in the shadows of our fellow humans. The 3 of them were all holding clip